We all want to feel safe and well at work. When we do, we are more likely to engage in healthy communications, take responsibility in our roles, and achieve success together. It also helps us to prevent incidents and accidents and discomfort in the workplace. A health and safety plan is an important step toward achieving these benefits. A health and safety plan includes a risk assessment along with a health protection and risk prevention plan. Together, these contribute to the safety and well-being of employees. It can be described as a written summary or overview of the workplace risks and how they should be addressed. Let's take a quick look together. What matters most is simply getting started. The first step is to conduct a risk assessment. This involves identifying potential risks in the work environment. It also requires evaluating the likelihood of these risks occurring and the severity of their potential consequences. Once these risks have been identified and evaluated, they should be prioritized based on which ones require immediate attention. The analysis involves looking at how tasks are performed to identify the associated risks for employees and, where applicable, guests and customers. There is no single best way for conducting a risk assessment in the workplace, so each workplace needs to identify the approach that best suits its environment and operation. It is recommended to always keep in mind the 5 main components of occupational safety and health. No one knows the workplace better than those who work there. Collaboration with employees is therefore essential. They know the work environment well, especially their own tasks. That's why it's important to pause and ask questions. To simplify the assessment, it can be helpful to use a color-coded system or table that provides a clear overview. Severity refers to the extent of harm the risk could cause, and likelihood refers to the probability of the risk occurring. Once the risk assessment has been completed, the next step is to select measures aimed at eliminating or reducing the risk so that it has a minimal impact on employees. Such measures are called preventative actions. Examples of preventative measures include installing guardrails on scaffolding or using safety harnesses to prevent falls from height, using signs to remind employees and customers of the importance of healthy communication, and using assistive devices to reduce the risk of musculoskeletal symptoms. It is best to implement all necessary preventative measures immediately. However, if it becomes clear that it is not possible to address all risks at once, they need to be prioritized. It is important to start with the risks that are both likely to occur and have the potential to cause significant harm, and then work through the rest, step by step. Once preventative measures have been selected, it's important to document them clearly, set timelines for the implementation, and specify who is responsible for following up. An emergency plan specifies how to respond to specific risks such as fire, natural disasters, and serious illnesses or accidents. The emergency plan is typically divided into an accident response plan and an evacuation plan. The accident response plan describes how to respond to accidents or serious illnesses that may occur at the workplace. For instance, providing first aid, calling emergency services, or ensuring necessary equipment such as first aid kits and fire extinguishers are readily available. The evacuation plan outlines how to respond to serious incidents such as fires, hazardous chemical leaks, or natural disasters. The goal is to ensure a quick and safe evacuation of employees and others from the workplace. It is important to define escape routes and designate an assembly point where everyone gathers after evacuation. It's essential that employees are familiar with the emergency plan and that responses are practiced regularly. This increases the likelihood of safe and appropriate reactions in an actual emergency, which could ultimately save lives. A health and safety plan is a living document that requires regular review. This involves reassessing the risks in the work environment to determine whether they've changed. This applies, for example, when changes occur in the workplace or following accidents or near misses has taken place. It is also important to assess whether the preventive measures have achieved their intended effect and whether they still serve their purpose. Sometimes, it may be necessary to implement new preventive measures or update existing ones. Employers are responsible for ensuring that a written health and safety plan is in place, and everyone at the workplace should be involved in this process when requested. Often, the most important step is simply to get started. After all, we're used to assessing risks in our daily lives to prevent accidents, illness, or harm. Have you familiarized yourself with the health and safety plan at your workplace? A well-prepared plan lays the foundation for employee safety and well-being, helping to prevent accidents and distress. There's a lot at stake. Everyone home safe. Vinnueftirlitið.